not at light heavyweight or even at a catchweight, but in the full heavyweight division where the true giants compete. Pereira has declared himself ready for the challenge, eager to make history as the UFC's first ever triple division champion. The entire MMA community is buzzing with excitement, curious to see what would unfold if these two legends finally face each other. However, there's one hurdle. Dana White isn't entirely convinced. While he appreciates Pereira's ambition and determination, he believes there's still more for Pereira to accomplish in the light heavyweight division.
Aposta.
Não, queria super luta.
No, I want a super fight.
Oh, super fight at heavyweight.
I could think of one.
Wow,
of them.
Derek
I would,
Lewis? It's Aspinall, man.
Não sei se, Casa Branca, Jon Jones.
Jon Jones.
Super luta.
At the White House, Jon Jones. That's a super fight.
All right, so he's
Why not fight against Pereira, a guy who's the same age as you, and we walk around the same exact size? Pereira walks around at like 240, and he has magnificent accolades. Business-wise, it makes more sense. Fight the nobody that may be more dangerous, or fight the guy with all the accolades who's incredibly dangerous.
Will we ever see Jon Jones versus Alex? Yeah. Possibility. I mean, Rogan is pushing me right now to try to make that fight. It's just, guys, Jon Jones is a whole nother. I consider Jon Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. Jon Jones is the nastiest dude ever in the history. And Jon's got a dark side to him. He shoots guns. Jon Jones is a...
I mentioned that there are still huge matchups waiting for Pereira in his current division, and jumping to heavyweight too quickly could interfere with the UFC's existing plans. On the other hand, Jon Jones has stayed mostly quiet, but those who know him understand that his silence often means he's strategizing. Jones has previously expressed interest in facing Pereira, and even when critics accused him of avoiding Tom Aspinall, he admitted that Pereira's striking ability and knockout power have always fascinated him.
Seemed like he could really be the face of this organization at this point.
Yeah, you know, people love him. People love the way he fights, and can't be bummed out with the way he performed this evening, so.
He seemed to tease that maybe he was going to call for a Jon Jones fight, but then kind of pulled it back after, learning about Arthur. Is him going to heavyweight something you would entertain at this point?
So today I was at work and I had a bunch of meetings over there this afternoon, and I went over to the PI and he was over in the PI. And I'm like, well, you're the last guy I expected to see here today. What are you doing here? And they're telling me we want to fight at heavyweight. I said, how about we win tonight and focus on tonight, and then we can talk about, heavyweight. And I don't know. There's still fights here in this division, but we'll see. I mean, this guy has been an absolute stud for us. He's on vacation in Australia, flies over and fights because, somebody fell out. He fights when he's hurt. He doesn't care. He wants to fight everybody. He wants to move up to heavyweight.
What is your hesitation about him going up to heavyweight? He's mentioned it a few times in the past. He always wanted that Jon Jones fight. I understand why maybe that fight wasn't appealing to you, but what is your reservations about sending him to heavyweight at this point?
Probably that he was a middleweight. He was a middleweight. He's going to jump up 2 weight classes in the UFC. It's not like jumping up 2 weight classes in boxing. It's a big jump. Not that I have any reservations about it. I mean, the guy is he's in a division that there's still some interesting fights. I don't know. I like the guy so much. We'll see. We'll have to talk about it. I just don't see why, unless he wants to retire, why throwing him in at heavyweight makes any sense. Other than I just end up saying he wants to do it so bad, I'll just say yeah.
Not only does he emote on Ankalaev afterwards and treat him like it was a walk in the park. A walk in the park. Let's talk about what really happened here. He started the fight and he's going inside low kick, something that he did not do once or that much in the first fight between them. So you know what? The narrative from Pereira was, I was injured the first fight. That was the worst version of me that's ever showed up. And I was thinking, that's what all fighters say though. They're not just going to admit that the other guy's way better than them. So I was thinking, all right, Alex Pereira, these are excuses, but they were definitely legitimate excuses because he went shin to shin with Ankalaev, like Jan Blachowicz did. Remember, Ankalaev's a southpaw, as he is in this stance here. And what you may notice is he's not a southpaw here. And that's what it came down to. In the last fight, Ankalaev could remain southpaw for nearly the entire time. That's where he's comfortable. And that's what gives Alex Pereira problems. and Pereira was trying to do lead low kicks on Ankalaev's calf, and they weren't having nearly as much of an effect. Jan Blachowicz went shin to shin with Ankalaev, and
there he had the cage just staring, just looking, all being very, very serious and very scary and very intimidating. Well, it obviously worked because Magomed Ankalaev just got flatlined, smoked, destroyed, beaten in 1 minute, 20 seconds. Now, all the talk of him coming in at 40%, maybe there was a little truth to that. I mean, we did talk about him being a little burnt out. We did talk about the schedule that he was on, which was kind of crazy. And certainly it looked like it did catch up to him in his last fight against Magomed Ankalaev. But he was right. There isn't going to be a third match. There isn't going to be a rubber match. Absolutely no way. Alex Pereira now is going to go into new challenges. If Magomed made it competitive, then maybe there would have been a talk of a third match. But it wasn't competitive. It was completely one-sided. It was one of the most vicious beatdowns we've ever seen. Alex Pereira now is a 3-time UFC champion. No UFC champion has ever lost a belt like that and then came back and got it in quick fashion and made it that easy. No champion's ever done that before, losing the belt and coming back again like that. And then when you look here at the record of Alex Pereira and what he's achieved, Joe Rogan and DC, they were talking about this all night. But it is
back to being the champion. The belt is once again around your waist. But before we even talk about the fight, you're walking in a booth. You notice that you were adjusting your foot inside the octagon. What really is going on there? And was this something before the fight or did it happen in the...
Yeah, I think this time it broke for sure. It started turning purple super quickly. But, you know, when I was throwing those low kicks, I saw that they were landing. You know, he changed his stances after the third kick, which is something that he didn't do in the last fight. It's something that I saw young Blachowicz did in the fight too. But as soon as I landed the first kick to his lead leg, I told my foot.
You were aggressive really from the first moment on. Was the approach to go right at him, or was that something that you saw lead up for your victory?
That was the plan in the first fight. You know, I wanted to go up and be aggressive. I told everyone I wasn't feeling well. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But, you know, I felt it that it was going to happen. You know, even this morning we went to breakfast at Big Romania. And we saw one of the guys from Power Slap who we saw last time on fight day as well. He had just lost that night. And today he was there and he just won. So I thought to myself, man, you know, last time he had lost, I lost, now he won. So everything is coming together.
You're going to have... Do things feel different? You've won the title before. You've been the champion in 2 divisions. Is something else happening?
To make all those around me happy, you know, all my fans, I feel all the love. At the press conference, the fans won't even let my opponent talk. So I feel that, and I want to give people joy. And even in Brazil, sometimes people say, oh, I wasn't watching the UFC anymore until you came and stuff. So I feel it, and I want to give back to those people.
Well, you're certainly doing that. Alex, now comes the part of my job that I have to do. That's always difficult because you just won the title once again. And we're already asking you about your next fight. But I talked to Carlos Ulberg and I talked to Yuri Prochazka after your fight. They both believe they're next in line. They both have their reasons for it. If you get to play matchmaker as the champion, when do you fight?
You know, like I said up there, I had a whole speech prepared, but we all know what happened to Jon Jones' brother. So it's not even right to talk about that. We'll talk about that later. I want to
30. Pereira just absolutely ran through, and look, I was wrong. That's very, very, very impressive.
What were you impressed by in that sense?
I think that he made some good adjustments technically, where he was putting him on the back foot a lot more than he was in the first fight. The first fight, it looked like, he looks like he might shed a tear there, Yuri Prochazka. What's going on there? Yeah, in the first fight, he was kind of like guessing what Ankalaev was going to do constantly. Whereas in this fight, in the rematch, Pereira's just constantly keeping him guessing, walking him backwards, making him feel threatened, and Ankalaev just couldn't even get anything off. So Pereira's back.
I always ask it, but does he move to heavyweight now, or does he fight Yuri, or what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm sure that's his decision. He's the champ. He can decide whatever he wants.
Do you think he should fight Ankalaev again? Maybe that as an option? Give it a trilogy?
I mean, I would watch Alex Pereira fight. I would watch any of them fight anybody, but I think that's pretty cool the way he's just come back and beat him again. See what he wants to do next. Dropped him with the right. Usually you'll see him drop him with the left hooks, but this time he big right one bomb over the top.
Potential clash between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira wouldn't just be a fight. It would be a war between two of the most feared champions in MMA history. On one side, there's Pereira, a cold-blooded knockout machine tearing through opponents with terrifying precision. On the other, Jon Jones, a tactical genius who's spent his career dismantling elite fighters with ease. While Pereira is eager to move up and make history, Dana White has expressed concern, saying the light heavyweight division still holds massive fights for him, and rushing to heavyweight could disrupt long-term plans. Meanwhile, Jon Jones has remained mostly silent, which often signals that he's calculating his next move. And he's admitted in the past that Pereira's power and striking style genuinely intrigue him. Joe Rogan broke it down on his podcast, calling a potential Pereira versus Jones matchup one of the biggest fights MMA could ever see. But he also made a bold point.
Yeah, dude, but like Alex just has that thing that like comes once in a lifetime. Like Chuck Liddell had it. There's some guys that just have that death punch. That's Alex. And I'll give you an example. So I'm sparring with Alex in Connecticut, and we're having a fucking war, dude. We're doing 3 hard rounds, and I somehow managed not to get hit with any big shots. And I like walking away real, like, I'm dead tired. I'm walking away really good. And they bring in this pretty high-level wrestler, and this guy is just fucking mauling Alex on round 4. Mind you, this guy's fresh. Me and Alex just had a 3-round fucking war, and this man is just mauling Alex, throwing overhands, has him in his cage. And about like halfway through the round, Alex just like touches him with an uppercut, and the round's done. And then Alex just like, I mean, he could have fucking blew on him and knocked him over. And just like that kind of power, it just, I mean, you got to be like, what, a 6'4" giant fucking Brazilian, I guess.
What I know Ankalaev spent a lot of time in here over the years. Like, what was kind of that situation like for you? Was it a bit awkward? Like, was Alex trying to pick your brain? Or?
No, I mean, I love working with Alex. Alex is one of those guys who were like, if you tell him any tad bit of advice, he absorbs it, he drills it, and no, Ankalaev, dude, like Ankalaev's my boy. And I think Ankalaev is probably like, as far as like ability and skill goes, he's probably one of the best in the world. Like, the guy could fucking fight. I've trained with him. Like, if he were to write a book on MMA, dude, it's a big fucking book. It's a big fucking book. But Alex just has that. He has that little secret sauce, man, that Ankalaev just doesn't have it, dude. But I'm also kind of stoked that, like, I feel like Alex is like an honorary American, So like he lives in America, he trains in America, he likes guns, likes pussy. Like, he's a good like honorary American. So it's really nice to fucking, have like adopted American have the fucking champion, dude. And from fucking, no offense, Ankalaev, man, I really like you, dude, but
there's no male American champions right now in the UFC who are actually born here.
I know. Well, I mean, Kayla, has anybody checked that?
No matter who wins, they'd eventually have to deal with Tom Aspinall, the current king of the heavyweight division. According to Rogan, Aspinall isn't just dominant. He's the most complete heavyweight on the planet right now. Faster, stronger, and technically sharper than anyone else in the division. If Pereira or Jones step into heavyweight, Rogan said, they're entering Tom's world, and Tom Aspinall is a serious problem. Now things are heating up. Pereira wants to move up. Jones wants a blockbuster return. Dana's torn between caution and cash. And in the background, Tom Aspinall waits patiently, watching it all unfold, knowing he's the real threat at the top. So the question is, does Dana White greenlight Pereira versus Jones for the massive White House card? Or will the looming shadow of Aspinall force Jones to finally confront the one man he's yet to face? One thing's for sure. As Joe Rogan said, this is the most exciting moment the UFC has seen in years, and all roads lead to Tom Aspinall.